Hi guys, today we are looking at the transport review, and this is actually the last real review assignment that you're going to have before we do our test, which is going to be on Tuesday of next week. Now there will be a review game that will open up for you to look at on Monday. I'll probably have it open up Sunday as long as Miss Smiley has it done. So this particular review is for students who are remote or if you're absent. Now in class, we're going to be making a foldable which will have the same material on it, just arranged a little differently. But for those of you who are remote, instead of trying to make you draw things out and submit it to me that way, I'm just going to go through and have you answer the questions instead. And I give you two potential answer choices, so you have a 50-50 shot at getting it right. Each question is going to be worth about half a point. So if we read the instructions here, it says students who are in class will be completing a foldable on the material. Those of you who are remote or absent today can complete these questions, which will serve as a review very similar to what we will be going over in class. Please watch this video, for help with the answers. You can submit the answers in the text box below or upload a Google Doc. So either way, what you're going to do is you're going to type number 1 and you're going to put your answer choice. And the answer choices are in brackets and they're also bolded for you. There are 17 total questions here. Number 1, the movement across the cell membrane that does not require energy. If it does not require energy, that is going to be passive transport. Number 2, the difference in the concentration of a substance across a space is called a concentration gradient. If there is a concentration gradient, substances will move from an area of high concentration to an area of low concentration, high to low. The cell membrane we know that it is selectively permeable because it lets some things through, but not everything. Blank is the simplest type of passive transport. Equilibrium isn't a type of passive transport. Diffusion would be the right answer there. There's 3 types of passive transport. We have diffusion, facilitated diffusion, and osmosis. The diffusion of water through a selectively permeable membrane, that is called osmosis. And I don't know about you guys, but I used to watch Osmosis Jones whenever I was a little kid, and I really liked that movie, but looking back on it, it is kind of falsely named because I believe Osmosis Jones, he wasn't actually water. He was a type of cell, right? And I probably dated myself here, just ignore that. Active transport uses blank to move things across the cell membrane. So phospholipids is what the cell membrane is made up of. And things are not going to fit just right through the phospholipids. So it's going to have to use proteins, like either channel proteins or some other type of protein, or a canal. A solution that causes a cell to swell is called sounds like hippo, it's getting bigger. Facilitated diffusion uses blank to move things across the cell membrane. So facilitated diffusion is a type of passive transport, but it's for things that are too big to fit through the cell membrane. Your cell membrane is made up of phospholipids. So if they're too big to fit through the phospholipids, it's going to have to be proteins. The process of taking material into the cell by infolding the cell membrane is called, we're taking it into the cell, it's going to be endocytosis. Into kind of sounds like endo. Maybe if you had some type of an accent. Exo means exiting. In blank transport, membrane proteins help molecules across the membrane without the use of energy. Without the use of energy is our main hint in this particular question. So facilitated diffusion or facilitated transport does not use energy. Active transport does use energy, so let's go with facilitated. In diffusion, molecules, they are going to try to spread out. They want to get as far away from one another as they possibly can. The lipid bilayer describes a type of transport. No, it describes the cell membrane. Facilitated diffusion moves substances down their concentration gradient with or without using the cell's energy. Facilitated diffusion is a type of passive transport, so it's going to be without energy. Facilitated diffusion moves substances from an area of high concentration to an area of low concentration. Active transport moves substances from an area of low concentration to an area of high concentration. It's the opposite of passive transport. And you're using energy to push more things into an already crowded space. That would be like if you guys were in a classroom, or maybe you're in a grocery store and there's, let's say, 100 people in this grocery store, and it's raining outside and there's no cover anywhere, and everybody walked there, so they don't have cars. So there's like 1,000 people trying to push their way into the grocery store, even though that grocery store may already be at its max capacity. Active transport needs or does not need ATP in order to move molecules across the membrane. It needs ATP. ATP is energy that the cell uses. All right, so that is it for our little transport review. Test on Tuesday. We'll play a review game on Monday if you're in class. If you're not in class, it will be posted for you to do on your own, and I highly suggest that you do that review game. It has all the answers to the test questions. And while you will have 2 chances at the test, it's really a lot easier if you know the answers instead of just going through and guessing at the answers. Now, when you take your test, I would have a piece of paper next to you so that you can write down the answers. And that way, whenever you see which ones you got wrong after your first attempt, your second attempt will be a lot easier to go back through. You'll be able to click right on the answers you got correct, and you'll know which answers you should not pick for the ones that you got incorrect. So keep a piece of paper and a pencil with you when you're doing that test, and write your answers down as you're going through it. All right, guys. Good luck on everything next week, and I probably will not have an actual video up until Wednesday for our remote day. All right, guys. Talk to you later.